Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the movie Thor Ragnarok, and I really enjoyed this movie. But that comes with the caveat that this is more of a comedy than like an action movie. There are still action parts, but it's fast with the comedy going on and on through it, and it's really well done, and a really good fusion of Planet Hulk and Ragnarok. Now, it's more weighted towards the Planet Hulk side, but I still think they did a really good job of tying it in with the whole Ragnarok scenario going on with Thor. So the film starts out, and Thor's kind of narrating what he's been doing, looking for Infinity Stones and not finding any to this thing in this cage, where we find out he has been Surtur's kind of like dungeon thing to get dropped down, and Surtur's telling him about everything that he's trying to do Ragnarok, and it's funny because you see Thor rotate. He's like, wait a minute, and he keeps going around. He's like, so you gotta connect that crown with the first flame, and then you can initiate Ragnarok. Alright, time for me to kind of stop that. So he's able to get Mjolnir on him, and great effective use of Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song starts playing, and he starts fighting all of these like forces that Surtur starts putting against him, and he's like, doing some pretty cool moves with Mjolnir, and he's able to defeat Surtur and gets his crown, which is also his skull, puts it on his back. He's like calling for Heimdall to open the Bifrost, but it's not Heimdall, it's Scourge who's in charge, and he's like trying to woo these ladies with all the stuff that he's got, and he's like, oh, okay, and Thor's just got to keep going around. He's getting chased by this dragon thing. And, of course, Scourge is able to, like, open the Bifrost, and it takes Thor and the giant dragon's head, and it, like, splashes gore on all the two ladies that he's trying to impress. They're leaving, and, like, Scourge is like, oh, dang it! He's like, I gotta announce you! And then Thor, like, goes off. It's like, and then we get to see another humorous scene as we see this. We, of course, know that it is not Odin, but Loki that is in charge of Asgard at this point. And he has this play put on that has Matt Damon playing Loki in it, and one of Chris Hemsworth's brothers playing Thor in it, and we have Sam Neill playing Odin in it, and it's just funny making Loki out to be this giant hero. We see the statue of Loki. Thor pretty much calls him on his bullshit, and he's like, damn it, would have been great. And of course Scourge comes up and says, here's Thor. He's like, that would have been great if you had done it when you were supposed to. And it's like, oh, Thor can fucking fly with Mjolnir. He's gonna get here before a dude who has to run. So, of course, he's like, alright then, tell me what you did with Father. So, of course, they go to Earth where Loki had dropped off Odin. And to find out that the place is now gone. It's like, huh, okay. And then this, like, thing starts opening up. It's like, what the hell? And it captures Loki, and then it's got this card for Bleecker Street. Who could that be? Doctor Strange. It's like, yeah! And it's really cool seeing the Doctor talking and like interacting with Thor. He's like, okay, well, Loki's a genocidal maniac to the Doctor, and he's like, well, if I help you find your father, you and Loki will leave, right? Yeah, of course. Alright, let's try and do this. And we see Thor going around with his refilling mug, and it's like really kind of cool. They're able to figure it out. It's like, oh, he's in Norway. Alright, this will take you to him. And he's like, I kind of need my brother. Opens up the portal, looks, falls down. He's like, I've been falling for 30 minutes! And it's just like, he's like, alright, see you. And then he like takes him, because Loki got his daggers out, was about to go for the Doctor, and they like just go whoop, and they find Odin. And he's like, this is beautiful. He's admiring it. And he's like, I'm sorry, but I'm dying. He's like, oh shit. Odin's dying. He's like, listen, Hela, my firstborn, your sister, will be free soon after my death. And he's like, you're gonna have to watch out for that, pretty much, as Odin dies. And like, of course, Thor's pissed off at Loki for all this, but then of course, Hela comes out. And of course, one of the cool things that was happening while Thor was on Earth was he had Mjolnir disguised as an umbrella, as an homage to the cane. So he like strikes it and turns back into Thor, and they're getting ready to fight her, and he throws Mjolnir at her, and she catches it and destroys it. It's like, holy shit. And of course, it's like, whoa, she's really powerful. She like does her thing. She's like, all right, I guess I'm the Queen of Asgard now. And she's pretty like, she puts off some strong stuff. I mean, she's a pretty effective villain. And granted, she's more kind of hammy in this because it's more for comedic effect, but she's a top level villain. And I'm interested to see kind of what goes on with her because she's the goddess of death. I'm wondering if they're going to possibly connect her with Thanos at some point. So, of course, Volstag's the one that opens the Bifrost this time and is able to get Loki and Thor in there. But, of course, Hela's following, and they're fighting in the Bifrost. Loki gets thrown out, and then, of course, Thor gets thrown out. And Hela comes in, kills Volstagg and Fandral of the Warriors. So it's like, holy shit! And of course, she pretty much goes on to get more of Asgard into effect, eventually killing the last of the Warriors 3, Hogun, and defeating a giant portion of the Asgardian army, because she was doing her thing, trying to like get them on her side, but of course they're like, we don't know who you are, we're gonna fight you, because Odin pretty much erased all, like, written down knowledge of her and all that. And she even, like, goes in, destroys one of the things, and reveals the true history of Asgard. Because at first you're thinking, oh, peace treaties and all that. But no. Odin and Hela worked as a team to conquer the 9 realms. And, of course, her ambition became too much, and she had to be imprisoned by Odin. And it's like, oh, shit. And I didn't catch this at first until I was, like, looking through, like, what was going on in, like, the wiki and all that, and reading other stuff online. But she was using the Necro Sword, which is connected to Gore the God Butcher in Jason Aaron's run, and I'm like, wow, because she's throwing these things around, I'm like, damn, she is pretty effective at killing these people. I'm like, wow, pulling in the Necro Sword like that, that's pretty interesting as her power, and it's like, damn. And of course, as she gets scourged to her side, pretty much using hers, her executioner, like she was used as Odin's executioner. Like, alright, we're kind of have to use the Bifrost. But of course we see at that point Heimdall, who was absent because Loki was going to put him on trial, but he escaped, is able to get the sword and is pretty much trying to help all the people of Asgard hide. Well, this is going on. Thor lands on this kind of like trash world where like all of these portals open up, and this is where we get into the Planet Hulk territory. And, of course, he at first is in a junkyard, and all these people come and are like, do you fight, or are you food? He's like, I fight, but I'm not a fighter here. Then you are food! And then, of course, they're trying to, like, get him and everything, but this other person, who we know as Valkyrie, but at this point Thor doesn't know, is like, oh, she, like, takes them all out, kills them all, and then puts this, like, buzzer thing on Thor, and, like, takes him away. So, of course, he's put before the Grandmaster. We see that Loki's there as well and is in the good graces of the Grandmaster, but, of course, he's not going to do anything for Thor. And he's like, alright, I'm going to put you against my champion. If you win your freedom. He's been undefeated. It's alright. And Jeff Goldblum is great as the Grandmaster. And I just wish there had been some interaction between him and Sam Neill, but I'm like, that's good. Because he's just nutty and crazy. So, of course, Thor's getting ready to, like, go for his fight and all that. He gets introduced to some other, the gladiators. Please pay special attention to the Rock guy and all the stuff that's going on with him and the little bug dude and all that, because there's a great joke there. I don't want to spoil it because it's just so long form throughout the rest of the movie that it's pretty good. Now, granted, once you figure it out, you're like, oh god, but it was just so good. There are really good jokes in this movie. So, of course, we get into it. He's gotten himself ready. He's got all these weapons, and he's fighting against. He, like, goes out in the arena. He's like, fine. And then here's the champion, the Incredible, and then we see Hulk. We see all these people love the Hulk. And if you think about it, we haven't seen the Hulk since Age of Ultron, about, like, 2 years. And, like, Thor's like, yeah, he's a friend from work. And seeing Loki be like, motherfucker. And they start fighting, and it's a pretty good fight. Now, granted, Thor doesn't have Mjolnir and everything, but he starts going through, and at first when I was seeing it, because, of course, Hulk's giving it to him good and all that, at one point, we see that the Hulk smashes Thor like Loki in the original, in the first Avengers, and Loki's like, yes, how does that feel? But eventually, as they're going through, Thor he gets kind of like centered, and he sees his father, and at first, I thought this could have been the first inklings of the Odin Force. Now, granted, as it goes throughout the movie, I find that this is incorrect, but more just Thor's powers. He gets like thundered up, and everything is like using powers. He almost beats the Hulk because he's like going full ham and fully using kind of like is like his thunder powers, because at first he wasn't able to use them as effectively, and he's like, I am the god of thunder, and of course the Grandmaster's like, alright, tickle fingers. It's like, yeah, okay, but of course he zaps him, and Hulk pretty much like beats the crap out of him, and he like wakes up in Hulk's bedroom, and they start kind of having conversations, and of course it's kind of simplistic and everything, but he wants the Hulk to help him escape. And he's like, at first, Hulk's like, you never liked me. And of course, he's really agitated trying to figure out how to deal with Hulk. He's like, you're stupid. You're the stupidest Avenger. He's like, I'm sorry. Nobody thinks that. And it was cool to kind of see Thor and the Hulk kind of like bond. Because out of the Avengers, the Hulk has only really bonded with Black Widow. So he's kind of always been on his own, and that's always kind of been his character trait. But Thor's also kind of been on his own because he's thought of as he's a god, and that kind of like removes him a little bit from things. It's like these two awesomely powerful people have to watch out how they use their powers, and it was kind of cool to see that going on in this film. So of course, we get some good comedy out of that. We see Thor see the Hulk naked. He's like, well, that's not coming out of my mind. And he tries to get the Hulk to get the person who captured him, Scrapper 142, to like help him out. And he like grabs her and finds out that she's a Valkyrie. And the Valkyries in Norse mythology like take the valorous warriors that have died in battle to Valhalla. And here they are like an elite woman unit of fighters, and this is one, and there definitely something happened to him. And she just likes to drink and like pretty much just be stuck here and just do anything until she dies, pretty much. And of course, Thor just keeps trying to figure out how to get out, and he's able to get the thing off, and he sees the Quinjet, tries to go, and it was funny because he's trying to get into the Quinjet, and he's like, damn it, strongest Avenger! No. And he's like, what could it be? Damn you, Stark! Point break! Welcome, Thor! And it's like, and of course, Hulk comes in, and he's like, he doesn't want his friend to leave. And, of course, a message pops up on the Quinjet, which is from Black Widow. And it's able to calm him down to where he becomes Banner again. He's like, I've been the Hulk for 2 years. Holy shit. And, of course, he, like, gets on to the Quinjet thing to try and figure out stuff because it's been fucked up by the Hulk. He's like, welcome, Bruce Banner, strongest Avenger. And like Thor's like, I'm the strongest, damn it. But of course, they're trying to figure out what to do. I'm like, alright, put these clothes on, we gotta go. Another funny thing is, it's clothes from Tony, and Banner's like, God, why does Tony wear so tight pants and everything? It's like, really funny. And, of course, Banner's trying to, like, not freak out, and Thor's trying to make sure that he stays calm. Like, listen, I'm on a planet designed to stress me out. I'm like, yep, I got nothing. You're gonna have a hard time with that, Thor. So, of course, he's just trying to walk around, and of course, once we find out that Hulk's gone, the Grandmaster has sat Loki and Valkyrie to go and find him. And during the courses of this, Loki is able to kind of, like, read her mind and find out why Valkyrie would be here, and we get the last moments that Hela had tried to escape before, and the Valkyries were sent to stop her. And they were pretty much wiped out, and one of the Valkyries who saved our Valkyrie kind of pushed her away, dying in the process. And that kind of like reawakens some stuff in her, and she kind of like captures Loki and is able to meet up with Thor and Banner, and they pretty much make a plan to escape. And it's funny because they're all kind of comparing notes about Loki. He's like, Thor like telling him, yeah, he turned himself into a snake once because he knew I like snakes and I'm admiring it. Turned into Loki, going, ha! I'm Loki, and then stabbed me. And then like, Banner's like, what the fuck? And of course, Valkyrie's trying to figure out who Banner is. Like, you're really familiar, man. But of course, since Loki was in with the Grandmaster, he's got keys to like the car, like the vehicles that he could use to escape. So like, all right, gotta do this. We need to get through this big kind of like, we need a good wormhole to get out of here. It's like, oh, that one. Oh, the Devil's Anus. Because of course it's called that. So they start getting into effect. They unleash pretty much a revolution against the Grandmaster. Loki tries to betray Thor again, but he's able to get one on Loki, and they're able to get into one of the Grandmaster's ships and blast off to Asgard. And of course, Loki is gotten by the gladiatorial people, and they go off as well. And they're essentially to pretty much go there and stop Hela and everything and try and figure out what to do. And of course, they're able to get in there and they're trying to save as many people as they can. And Thor's like, alright, I'll take care of Hela and all that, and you guys go on. So he pretty much confronts her in the throne room while Heimdall and the rest are trying to, like, get out. And at this point, Hela had used the internal flame, and she, like, went into Odin's, like, vault and pushed over an Infinity Gauntlet saying it was fake. I was like, oh, that's nice, to the Tesseract, and used the first flame, a bit of it, to raise an army of dead Asgardians and revive her wolf Fenris. So, of course, she's been using these to try and, like, track down Heimdall and everything, and all the rest of the Asgardians, and they're pretty much trying to, like, escape to the Bifrost. But, of course, they are blocked by Fenris, and, like, oh shit. So, of course, Valkyrie and Banner trying to, like, help everything, and, of course, Banner turns himself into the Hulk, and goes and fights Fenris, and they're trying to, like, they can't get to the Bifrost, so of course Loki and the rest come in and kind of help. And of course Scourge, throughout the film, he was going to be used as an executioner, but he hasn't been pretty much put in a position where he has to do something. You can always kind of like avoided it a little bit. But at this point, he's like, I'm not going to fight with these people. He tries to escape, but of course, as the army of the undead are trying to come at him, he comes out and, of course, fights with them. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. So, of course, we are like going through and all that, and Thor is fighting Hela, and at one point he gets one of his eyes slashed out. I was like, holy shit. I really liked what they were doing and trying to go through with Thor. And of course he's like, what am I supposed to do? So he gets back and Odin's like, listen, Mjolnir didn't give you your power. Mjolnir was merely used to focus and control your power. What are you? And he's like, the God of Thunder, and pretty much does a freaking lightning blast. But it's like one of the strongest ones, and it still doesn't do anything to Hela because Asgard powers her. And of course, we see the next use of like the Emigrant Song, which is really great, as like Thor is like taking out a lot of and using his powers really effectively. But he's like, listen, as long as Asgard's here, we can't do anything. And like, we gotta initiate Ragnarok. I was like, holy shit, because of course Odin said that Asgard isn't just a place, it's the people. So they got everybody on the ship. He's like, alright, Loki, I need you to do what you gotta do. And of course he puts the crown into the first flame, and of course Surtur's doing his stuff, and the rest of them escape, and Hela tries to fight him off, but of course he pretty much, at least at the moment, takes her out. I say at the moment because it looks like she was taken out, but I think that she could potentially be used for Thanos. I only say that because in the comic books, Thanos is infatuated and in love with death. And I don't just mean an abstract concept. There is an entity of death. Now, within the Marvel Universe, we do not have this entity at this point. The closest we have is Hela, being the goddess of death. We've even seen allusions of this in the recent comics with, like, Marvel Legacy. So I only say that she could potentially still be floating out there as Surtur drove his flaming sword into Asgard and destroyed it. And it's like, okay, that's that. And it's like, okay, we'll have to see what happens with that. I hope something like that could occur because that is a big driving force of Thanos. Now, granted, he also believes himself superior and all that, but that is his driving motivation, to use the Infinity Gauntlet to create mass death to win Death's love. So we'll have to see if that's the way they're going to go with the Avengers. But the film pretty much ends out with Thor becoming King Thor. And this movie has done a lot to move Thor forward as a character. You know, okay, how so? Well, he doesn't need Mjolnir anymore, though he could still create an awesome-ass weapon because he's the king. We have now seen that the Asgard has been destroyed, and we have pretty much them on a ship like Vikings, having to sail to find a new home, and all that. It's like, holy crap. So he's also he lost an eye, kind of like Odin in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He had lost it in battle. Thor's lost it in battle, and now has an eye patch as well. So it's like, I've got to now be that king for my people and everything. And it's really kind of a cool position. It's like, alright, Thor, what are we doing? Let's go to Earth and try and help. I was like, and if I saw a group of space Vikings, I'd be like, "It's cool, come chill with me." But before that, we see a giant ship come up. Who could that be? I'm going to say Thanos, because we're getting close to Avengers 4. Avengers 3 and 4, because it's all going to be together, part 1, 2 kind of thing. So we're getting ready to get in the Infinity War and everything, and it's like, okay, Black Panther is the next one, and then we're right into Avengers, so yeah. And then at the end, we also got to see the Grandmaster pretty much in the aftermath of what happened. You're like, hey, good, revolution, good, everybody won, yay. I was going to say it's a tie. You can't have a good revolution without somebody to go against, and that's kind of what I did. It's like, okay, you have to see how this works on you, man. But I really enjoyed this movie. They did a lot of good jokes. I am definitely going to have to see it again to pick up everything. I mean, the jokes come really fast. And like one after another, where you could be laughing at one and completely miss another one. So, if you're into Marvel and you're into Thor and you're into all that kind of good stuff and like action and all that, I would highly recommend this movie. And if you're really more into comedies, this is definitely a kind of good movie for you. So, I really enjoyed it and really think that if you get the chance, you should definitely go and see it. And you will not be disappointed. So, those are my opinions on the movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.